if the person who's listening right now is in grief or experiencing deep sadness and things just feel very, very hard, what do you want to say to them about just the first step to take even today?
To take the first step requires some bit of action. We're all seeking motivation, but the unfortunate truth is that action precedes motivation. We need to take some sort of action. So I try and think about what's the easiest action one can take. For some, that might be making their bed. For another, it may be taking a shower. For me, it was putting on my shoes. Putting on my shoes took me to the dog park. Putting on my shoes got me to take a boxing class. Putting on my shoes and taking a boxing class 10 years later led me to fighting on Showtime pay-per-view as a professional fighter. So you
What?
will never know where putting on your shoes may take you. But unless you take that first step of putting on your shoes, making your bed, taking a shower, you just don't know where you'll go. So that's the simplest step. And I know it sounds easy to someone who's not in the depths of grief, who's not going through something. They say, oh, putting on shoes, that's not going to get you anywhere. But when showering is hard, when combing your hair is hard, putting on your shoes is not the easiest task. But when you do, you never know where they'll take you.
I want to stay right on this because I really deeply appreciate you validating how hard it is to take a shower some days,
Mhm.
how hard it is to brush your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think those little things feel so hard at times in life? Because to me, it's really important that we break this apart because I think this is actually everything.
It probably strikes at the heart of the humanity of meaning. When you live every day with your family members surrounding you, you have one idea of what life is. But when tragedy strikes and that gets completely flipped 180, you panic. And in order to protect yourself, your brain shuts down and says minimal activity, much like when in boxing you get hit with a liver shot, to make a strange analogy, you go down because you're worried about circulation. Same thing here. Your body's protecting you. But at the same time, you need to be able to be the judge of what's safe, what's acceptable. And sometimes it helps to have a team member. That's where doctors come in, therapists come in. And the most unique part of what I've learned in practicing healthcare for the last decade is that for mental health success, support system is crucial. So having family members, friends, so important. But then getting help from a medical specialist, a mental health specialist, is the second most important. But what's not so important is, are they a social worker? Are they a psychologist? Are they a family medicine doctor? Are they someone from a religious background? As long as it's someone who's not taking advantage of you and wanting to tell you the truth, to help you get through this moment and shows you that you too are valuable, validated, and wants to help you overcome this tragedy. That's what gives you a good outcome.
You said, Dr. Mike, that action precedes the motivation. What does it mean when you're in the depths of grief or the heaviness of depression, or you're feeling unbelievably anxious and you still get out of bed, or you still take a shower, or you still put your shoes on?
Yeah, if we were to look into our brains on a molecular level, there is a neurochemical process happening that's leading you to feel the way that you feel. And that is where sometimes people fall into the trap of thinking that they need a medication because it's a chemical problem. I need to take another chemical to solve it. And sometimes that is true. Sometimes you need a way out, and there is value in that. But at the same time, what's beautiful about the human body and the human mind is that it is resilient, it is adaptable, and actions impact neurochemistry. So these neurotransmitters that are out of whack can be altered by things you say, by things you do. And people don't give the power to their minds at times which can be understandable because they're in a very dark place. But once they learn about it, the chance of them taking action increases. So I think that's why I'm so passionate about teaching these things, is to explain to people that folks are resilient. Some of the biggest experts worldwide on trauma show that humans bounce back. And while it feels like everyone says PTSD, PTSD, because it's kind of become a colloquial term rather than a medical term, the human body usually after trauma doesn't experience PTSD, and we do bounce back. We carry traumas, we feel them. Our bodies, sometimes if we neglect them, will remind us of the trauma, even not mentally, sometimes physically, but we do bounce back, and there is hope ahead. And when you present that hope, again, it's all about shifting the odds to be slightly more in your favor, and that's why I like talking about it.